All right, Matt. So give us a little interior tour of this thing.
Sure.
Jump right into it.
Just to start out, I will start out with this is the Pro4x Premium. So you are getting literally every single option. They only have 3 tiers. A little bit. Nissan seems to do their trim packages a little bit simpler than the other car brands. There's 3 tiers. There's base model, mid tier, which they call the convenience package, and then the premium package, which you're about to see here. So premium package is going to get you the leather seats with the orange stitching. And this is also the Pro4x model as well. So this is a Pro4x Premium. So
Gotcha.
You would not get the Pro4x and the more bro features, if you will, if you got the regular Premium. Yep. You get new to 2025, so they did a refresh in 2025. You get, I think that's a 10 or 12-inch touchscreen. The screen's bigger in the center. Don't know what the exact number is. You have wireless charging there, which is pretty nice. You have these 2 handles. I don't know that they're that functional, but they're cool. They kind of sit a little bit too far forward for you to grab. Like, you'll see when you sit in the driver's seat. Okay. That, like, if you wanted to grab the handles, you can't really reach. And I'm a decent-sized dude, so a smaller person's not going to reach. Right. Your gauge cluster is pretty simple. The Pro4x has its own gauge cluster, but you don't have a lot of dummy gauges, which I don't really like. I like to just have more information in front of me. It's a pretty bare-bones gauge cluster. And then also with the Pro4x, you get a decent amount of options. They're in the interior, but some mechanical options. So you get hill descent control. You have your lane assist here, your cargo lamps in the back, traction control, and then you have an electronically locking differential, as you see here. So that's with the Pro4x package.
And your inverter.
Oh, and your inverter, yep.
Which is nice, 400 watts.
Probably some things I'm missing. It's got a sunroof also with the Premium, cool. So the only package you're going to get that with is the Premium. And then another thing that comes with the Premium too is the Fender audio, which is pretty cool, and it's going to get even cooler in the back. Cool. So one thing I'll say, if we're doing a whole YouTube comparison here, is compared to the other mid-size vehicles, I think the Fender audio is a phenomenal package. Now, I'd say that the next best one is the GM Bose. Like, GM Bose is pretty darn good, but the GM Bose truck is also almost $20,000 more. So when you're looking at price comparison, and then in the back,
are the running boards a TRD thing? Okay,
that's a Pro4x feature. And notice on the running boards, they make them so you can quick detach the boards if you're going off road.
That's cool.
So if you wanna, do that, and then also to point out, you get 2 6.5-inch subs in the back with the Fender Premium.
Oh yeah, there it goes. Okay.
So there's your sub.
So there would be a little storage, but instead you have the sub. That's cool. Nice.
Now you will see on the other side there is storage.
Okay.
Another thing that I find really funny too is there's no saddle in the back of the seat.
Yeah, that is surprising actually.
Why?
How is this rear legroom? Let's see. Oh wow, this isn't bad actually.
This is this is crew cab configuration as well.
Right. Well, because usually these crew cabs used to be like extended cab, full size, but this is a little bigger.
I mean, the
headroom's a little tight.
You're what, 6'1", roughly speaking, 6'1", so it's not bad for a mid-sized truck.
No, not at all. I wish there was just a touch more headroom, but it is what it is. It's not made for grown-ass men to be sitting back here.
Definitely not. But I thought the sub box was pretty unique. I think GM gives you a 6-inch sub with the Bose system too, but you get 2 6.5s here.
That's pretty cool. That's a lot of subwoofage.
It is. It bumps pretty good.
Hi, buddy. And then you get a little tiny bit of storage back here, which is nice. Just a little something anyway.
Let's pop over to the other side.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Ooh. Sorry, kitty. You okay?
He's fine. He's actually kind of mean, so I'm glad.
Is that? Oh, that's your neighbor's.
That's neighbor's, yeah, it's not mine. So one thing cool too, and I think this comes with all Frontiers, but don't quote me on that. You get pre-done under-seat storage here.
Yep, nice.
And then Nissan actually gives you, again, this is a Pro4x feature, not really a truck feature, but they give you this entire backpack.
Oh, wow.
And they give you, like, a lot in here with the truck. So they don't give you the charger, but they give you everything else. So gloves, you get a med kit in here in the front, I believe. You get a shovel. This is a fold-out shovel.
Probably with a Pro4x thing?
Yeah, it is. It is. So this is strictly with the Pro4x. They call it the adventure kit.
That's pretty neat, actually.
But I mean, there's $100 worth of stuff in this little bag. And then here's your front, so you get a little med kit, rain poncho, some Band-Aids, some sterilization stuff. Free $99, and you get this free $99. This came with the truck. I did not put that in there.
Nice.
And you get I think there's a light in here, a little roadside light.
That's pretty cool.
So. And it comes in your little under-seat storage, so it's kind of like a cool little thing they do.
That's actually, yeah, that is really neat. I've never seen an off-road package truck of any other brand do something like that. I don't think there are any. I like, this is a small point, but I like how wide the doors open in the back, because sometimes these cabs can be a little hard to get into. So the doors opening, 90 degrees almost helps you get in.
It's really nice to get in. I have to say,
too bad.
Ergonomics, the thing I love about this truck and what sold me the truck were the ergonomics.
Okay.
Compared to the price point, price to value and ergonomics sold me on this truck, absolutely. And that's kind of it. And we'll look at the passenger side here. Yep. Glove box, your typical. It's nice. You get a little matching card holder here. But that's really it. Again, wireless charging. Cup holders are really decent size. And we'll pop in the center console too, so you can see that for visual reference. It's not huge.
Yeah. It's decent size. It's the same size.
It is decent size.
Silverado, so you have mid-2000s half-ton size, which isn't bad.
One thing, I don't know if this is the truck or my phone. My phone is not the greatest in the world, but the wireless charging comes and goes.
Yeah.
And it heats up my phone a lot. I don't know whether that's the system or my phone, but
I don't know. I'm not a huge wireless charging fan for that reason, just in general. So I don't know if I would put too much thought into that. But
let me show you
as far as the truck being an issue,
too. Kind of irrelevant, but I didn't know this. They give you a set of charging cables in this little Nissan bag here.
Oh wow!
And I think any Pro4x, it's just a nice little Nissan thing. Huh. So haven't used them yet, but it's just
that's really surprising actually. It's sad to think that Nissan's kind of going out of business right now, and yet they're making decent stuff.
You ready?
Yep.
Another interesting thing, it still has a cigarette lighter. I don't know how many cars still come with that, but this did. I didn't ask for it. And then another thing you get with the premium and the mid-tier package, I believe, which is the convenience package, you get heated seats, driver, passenger, obviously. You get a heated steering wheel. Nice. You have push-button ignition, which is nice. And then you have your on-the-fly four-wheel drive. One thing I found interesting about the on-the-fly four-wheel drive, I don't know if this is applicable to other brands, but you have to be going under 55 for on-the-fly four-wheel drive.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's applicable for other brands. But when you think about it, on the throughway, kind of throws a little bit of a wrench in your gears.
Okay, that's interesting.
So just, I don't know, maybe something
Arguably,
to think about.
Maybe you shouldn't be going that fast if you need four-wheel drive, but
still just not something. Oh yeah, and then look at the
nice screen. Very good resolution. So I like how there's hard buttons for some of the key stuff. I need maps, boom. That's kind of neat.
It's not an overly complex infotainment feature or infotainment system. Which
nice
is
little digital center. I love having analog gauges with a digital center. It's all the tech that you need without just having excessive digitalness.
Again, one thing I don't like is you don't have a battery gauge. I don't know.
It's not buried in the menus anywhere either?
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
You get this whole off-road, you get your tilt and all that jazz, but... Okay, so I do have a battery gauge.
Battery gauge and a temp gauge. Yeah. That's a little something anyway.
Which I think is redundant.
I wonder if there's any oil temp or transmission temp. That's probably just water temp.
I haven't.
Oh, there is. Okay.
Is it there?
Oil pressure.
Yeah.
Oil temperature, it looks like. Keep going.
Okay.
So a little bit of something. That's good at least.
Oh, and for record, it gets about 19 miles to the gallon on average, practically.
That's pretty good, actually.
Just some off-topic things. It can be started from the Nissan app. So Nissan has an app, and you can start it.
Is the app free?
Nope.
Okay.
It is free for the first 6 months.
Okay.
Don't ask me what it costs after that because I'm not going to pay for it. But it's relatively cheap, I think, but you do have to pay. Another thing I do like, and I don't know, I'm out of the loop as far as the apps go, but you can schedule maintenance directly from your app as well.
Okay.
I do like the vast. You get a decent amount of storage up there in that little cubby.
Yeah, I hate when they do covers and make these cubbies not accessible, because I'd rather just have it be a catch-all.
But notice, we're two pretty big guys in here, and it's not stuffy.
No, not at all.
And note, about these handles, right? It's just kind of a...
Yeah, it is a little bit far. Maybe if you're going up a real steep hill or something.
Nice thought, but... Yeah.
But yeah, no, good legroom and everything. And power passenger seat. I can't even touch the wall with...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
It's not bad.
Yeah, the interior is equivalent to a Toyota 4Runner, obviously a Tacoma, but even a midsize SUV, right? Kind of like a Ford Explorer interior would be similar size to this.
Yeah.
Something in that range. This is just a more trucky version of that because it's a truck.
Yeah. And I think this is competing, it's competing pretty directly with a lot of things, but a lot of people light compared to the Tacoma because they're the same Japanese market. This directly competes with the TRD off-road Tacoma. The TRD Pro is kind of in a class of its own at $70,000. So the other thing I wanted to go over, hopefully the car wash noise doesn't drown us out, is steering wheel controls. One thing I don't necessarily love is, I think ideally, right, Nissan put these here so you can hit them with your thumbs, but I don't have that big hands, so if I'm technically at that nice legal 10 and 2 where they teach you in driving school, I can't really get to these all that. I mean, so here's my thumbs on the wheel.
Yeah, that is actually far in.
It's a no-reach situation there. It's going to look in the car wash. But part of the Pro4x package too, I believe this is a Pro4x feature for those off-road people, so you can not hit stuff. But you get this full overhead view. The car wash is kind of killing it, but it's really nice in a parking lot if you're off-roading, things like that. So you get the 360 view from cameras in the mirrors and stuff. It's a nice feature, and obviously you can't see the backup camera, but
it's there.
I don't know what the competitors look like, but I thought that was a pretty cool feature if you're, you know, one of those people who cares. The interior is, in my opinion, really nice relative to the price of the truck.
What are your thoughts on like driving characteristics now that we're driving?
So another thing that people is kind of polarizing, and you'll see in a minute when you drive, it is the heaviest steering you'll ever feel in your life. There's no vehicle, like,
really?
I think a old dump truck has lighter, go ahead, give it a little feel. But
I'll turn for you.
Go ahead, turn, give it a turn.
Oh yeah, it's pretty heavy.
The steering is obscenely heavy, which some people may associate with quality, some people may be like, it's 2025, why is this not? And it's a traditional, you know, power steering. It's not, GM uses what electric motors now.
Yeah, so we just took a wrong turn. I had to do the old 3-point turn and give the wheel the whip. And it is stiff, guys. Like, it is stiffer than my Super Duty stuff. Like, I was working to turn this thing.
So it's your traditional power steering.
Yeah, and tell everybody what you came from and why you went to this. Do you give that description?
So I had a 2017 Silverado 1500 Z71. I went to this truck because I took immaculate care of the truck. I bought it brand new. It had it crowned, undercoated every single year, and never worked with a truck. Only drove it for leisure, really. I had no business owning a full-size pickup truck, but I did. And it was one of the most unreliable vehicles I've ever owned. Came from a GM family, had another GM truck, and my GM truck with 200,000 miles on it had less issues than this Silverado. Between 100 and 130,000 miles on the Silverado, I put almost $12,000 into it. That included a full transmission rebuild due to full transmission failure. Again, the truck was never worked, never towed, nothing. It just drove me to my office job. Exhaust manifolds, both sides. The exhaust manifolds were literally rattling, creating an obscene amount of noise. Grill shutter failure, and then what made me sell the truck was the ABS module failure. Which was quoted for like $2,500 to fix. Again, yes, you can fix it yourself cheaper, but like for your everyday Joe, that's a big bill.
Yeah. So go over that a little bit, and you've been mentioning how it's cheaper. Give me the cost breakdown between competitors with similar features and stuff.
Sure. So again, in the mid-size truck market, you have the Colorado, you have the Ford Ranger, you have the Tacoma, and am I missing anybody? I don't think so.
I think you're good.
I don't know what these trucks start at. Again, this is the highest end model, but this model retails, again, this is the Pro4x Premium. Model retails for about $51,000. The Tacoma TRD off-road, like the same specs, fully loaded, I think is low 60s, so you're talking a 20% increase in price for that Toyota tag on the front. I don't know what the Colorado Z71 MSRP is for. However, they have the ZR2, and the ZR2 base model is similar in price to this. However, the ZR2 base model interior is atrocious. Like, it is so, because that was the other truck that I was highly considering getting, was the ZR2 base model. But again, for a full spec interior, I think ZR2 base model is a $52,000 truck. Full spec interior up to $65,000. So again, This was 51 fully loaded, so that's a $14,000 difference. Toyota, again, the TRD off-road, I think starts at like high 50s, and a fully spec'd one's 65. So about on par with that Chevy Colorado. I don't know what the Ford Ranger numbers are, but I assume they're pretty high. I
can add them to this video and look them up.
Yeah, also, I think the Ford Ranger is absolutely hideous, and I did a little research on why Ford made it so ugly. And I'm dead serious, I'm not joking. I think it's atrocious looking.
It's funny.
But I think this is an interesting fact. I guess, again, I'm not a marketing expert, but I guess that is an internationally marketed vehicle, and the Europeans love the ugly trucks. Like, the reason it is so ugly is because they tried to design it for a worldwide market relative to what the Americans wanted.
All right, Matt, what's this beast under the hood here?
So, this is a 3.8 liter V6, but I believe it's their VQ engine series line. It's a modified version of the VQ.
Okay.
So Nissan's had the VQ. They had a 3.5 in the early 2000s. Went to a 3.7 at some point, and I think we're up to a 3.8, which is what you see here. Output is, I think, 320 horse and 300 foot-pounds of torque is the output, and it's NA. That's another big selling feature for me on this truck. It is, I think, one of the only mid-size trucks now with an NA platform.
It might be the only.
It is, and it is also the only option. So you are not getting any other engine option with this vehicle.
One nice thing too is because it's NA, you know, it's relatively easier to work on. You have more space around the engine and all that kind of stuff.
It's not a turbocharged rat's nest like some of them.
No, it's good.
Which is nice.
9-speed auto, which is kind of a cool combination of old school V6 and modern transmission.
Vice all the other platforms, I think you're mandatory 4-cylinder turbo. And I don't know how long all those engines have been out there, but I think some of them are relatively new. So,
I mean, Toyota's definitely is.
Yeah, I don't know what the reliability of those platforms is going to look like. Maybe they're great, but for what it's worth, you know.
I agree.
This platform's been running since 2019. Yeah, and that's part of the 360 view camera, which we mentioned earlier. A new update to 2025 is the front fascia. So it goes all the way down now. In 2024, it stops. There's a midsection here, and then there's a little bottom, but they've joined it all one together. Oh yeah, and you get your recovery hooks, part of the Pro4x, and I think it's a steel skid plate.
Oh, it sure is, aluminum.
Aluminum, whatever it is. So all Pro4x features. So you get your recovery points in the front. You get the cool styling. They have different headlights and all that jazz. You get the special light me up boy headlights. Let's see. I think factory, it sits about 2 inches higher than their other trim trucks, which is similar. A lot of the mid-size Baja Blaster trucks are doing some sort of lift. So you get that to, on par with the competitors. You get Bilstein shocks all around.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which is different from their regular trim, I guess. I don't know what that utilizes. And you get a locking differential in the rear, which you saw the controls for that. You get the spotting cameras in the mirrors, which is probably pretty nice if you're about to like hit a giant rock or something. You know, if you're one of those people. And then you also get these running board protectors here, and you can, as we pointed out earlier, you can take off the rock sliders. You can take off the steps to have a more true rock slider.
Yeah, these are pretty solid too. Like you could hit these relatively hard. You might not want to land the truck on them, but you could definitely.
Did a fantastic job, in my opinion, of making a practical off-roader.
Yeah.
Like, do you have the remote reservoir, Baja Racer at 60 miles an hour that the Raptor Ranger does? No. But you're not paying $75,000 for the truck either. I don't know what the ground clearance numbers are, but they're all within like half an inch of each other. The Ford off-road package, the GM off-road package, they're very close in ride height.
Interesting.
And again, you get like that factory 2-inch lift. Another new thing in 2025 is the rims. So the Pro4x has their own rim, but it looked different from 19 to 24. So if you care about that, I actually kind of like the 19 to 24 rims a little better. These ones kind of have a little bit more of a throwback look, in my opinion.
Yeah, they do. They look like retro, like Humvee almost, kind of.
So a lot of people swap the wheels on these because of that. So to each their own. But you can see the Bilsteins under there.
Yes, you can see the Bilsteins now. Just barely. Those rear ends, though, these and the Tacomas actually have pretty solid. They're like 4 to 8 size. I forget what they actually use, but
Oh, another premium Pro4x premium feature is spray and bed liner.
Nice.
So it comes with an OEM spray and bed liner.
Oh, I
and
like those rails.
You like? Let's look at the rails real quick.
Yeah, dude, I like those rails.
And you get the. I don't know if they're a premium feature or not. To be
Did I
honest with you,
unhook
but
that?
you
Hang on.
get the
I
rails.
didn't do that
a little
right.
weird.
Is this OEM cover? We'll leave that up.
It is a rough country cover, but I
Rough
bought it
country.
through Nissan.
Okay.
So I don't know if they make an OEM cover.
I like these rails, dude.
You
That's
get the rails,
really nice.
and the rails come with cleats too. from the
Yeah,
factory.
that's really
it's a
nice to
factory rail
have.
Cleat.
Just slide them around and do your thing. I've been thinking about bolting something like that in my truck.
Yeah, and you get the tie downs here. You get tie downs up front, which are kind of impractically located right below the rail. Actually, you may actually have some issues like.
Oh, I see it. Yep, right
getting
there.
in there. Yeah. You got your cargo lamps, which is a premium feature. What else did I want to say about this? Oh, and then I don't know if you're one of those spaceship technology peoples. You get an outlet out here.
There's your 400 watt inverter.
Yep.
Yep.
If you actually work with your truck, it's probably nice, but.
They do a good job of hiding the kind of wheel wells so they don't really eat up much of the bed. And then they also really deep bed ribs, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You know? But, yeah.
Market is you just have a traditional tailgate.
Yep.
You don't have the GM 9-piece tailgate that reads a book to you while you're sitting on it. It's just, and it's not even really. It's kind of soft close, not really, but or soft lower. It's just a truck tailgate.
Yeah, it's like half soft lower. I noticed that when I put it down. It's like if you let it go on its own,
It'll gain some momentum.
Yeah, it'll gain some momentum, which is kind of interesting.
But again, I kind of like it, right? The
Yeah.
truck market has been shifting in the direction of, in my opinion, like it's great to have luxury things like that, but it's getting a little out of hand, in my opinion. It's just a functional truck tailgate, which is wonderful.
Still got the 2-ball hitch in there, bub.
And then for the people, you get whatever
Your
those
7-pin and your 4-pin, or 4
for
pin.
towing all the big things.
Yep, they even come dielectric greased.
Do they?
That's kind of interesting.
They do a nice job, man. They think of these things.
It's also got the LS in it, the LSX license plate.
You get Pro4x gets the fender flares. I think you just get regular metal or whatever. And these are Pro4x mud flaps too.
Okay.
So you get a lot of nice protection things with it's really a nice truck package. It comes well protected. It comes well equipped for off-roading, which was a big selling point. You have I think that slides in the back.
Yep, slider.
Window. Yeah. But yeah, we're just a regular little truck on leaf springs after that. So
sweet.
I'm sure the
hello.
I'm sure the hardcore enthusiasts will, maybe try to correct me on this one, but again, from a big picture perspective, right? The mid-sized trucks seem to be getting a little bit more popular for whatever reason, and all of the other OEMs, Ford, GM, Toyota, did a complete refresh of their trucks, right? From the ground up, and they did some nice things, right? You could argue they're nice trucks, but it's reflected in the price point as well. They're very expensive vehicles. Nissan, and what sold me on the truck was they took a completely different approach of, let's take something old and functional, let's refresh it for the modern world, but let's give it a price tag that is still what I would call reasonable for what it is. So it is the cheapest. It is also the most old feeling, but if you like that, it's probably a really big benefit.
Yeah.
That was a big selling point for me. Just one thing I hate too, one thing that drives me nuts is this giant gap. Why couldn't we do a better job here? It just seems like we could have done a little bit better job there, Nissan. Other than that, I love it. And then this is a fun fact too. I guess for the Nissan enthusiast, these are a throwback to their old hard body truck in the 90s. So the styling, I don't know. They love to tell you that in their videos, but
gotcha.
Just a fun fact.
Well, guys, I think it's about time that your boy here blows some. Carefully drives this thing and sees what he thinks of it.
If he can handle the power.
If I can handle
the power is unbelievable.
Unbelievable, guys. 320 of them.
I gap Hellcats all day. There you go, dude. Hit it up.
We're doing it. Yeah, so Matt, I know you have a boat, and kind of tell us how heavy that is and what your plans are and that kind of thing.
I think fully loaded with all my junk in it, the boat's going to be around 4,500, 5,000 pounds. It's a 21-foot boat, but boats have big fuel tanks. Your cooler, Christ, the cooler weighs 150 pounds by itself, full ice. So I'm going to say it weighs about 4,500, 5,000 pounds. Didn't even feel it behind the half-ton Chevy, which was a nice thing about having the Chevy. These trucks, I believe on paper, they're somewhere between 6,500 and 6,800 pounds max towing. I don't know what the competitors look like. I think Ford technically has the highest tow rating for a mid-size truck, but if you're trying to tow like 8,000 pounds with a mid-size truck, you shouldn't be buying a mid-size truck.
Yeah.
Personally, anyway, I am a little bit nervous to put 60. I don't know that I'd want to put 6,500 pounds behind this truck. Again, it's on paper, that's what it is. But if you're looking to tow all the time, maybe a mid-size truck just isn't for you. But that's the number. It's somewhere between 65 and 6,800 pounds, I think, fully loaded. Or max towing, excuse me. Oh, and I forget what payload is. I think it's just under 1,000 pounds, something like that.
Okay,
So-
yeah, I wanted to check the door sticker and see.
Oh, no, one really cool thing to note about Frontier too, and I think it's unique to Frontier. No other OEMs offer it. I think you can get a 6-foot bed on these. I don't know that any other OEMs offer a 6-foot bed configuration in there. Maybe Toyota does.
I think Toyota
Do they?
does, yeah.
In their new model though, the 2025? I don't know.
I don't know.
So sorry, you can get a. Let me correct myself.
Real quick, I want to do a little bit of a acceleration. $7,000, baby. She's a ripper. Not bad. Not bad at all.
It is what it is,
Continue your thought.
Excuse me, let me correct myself. I think you can get a crew cab 6-foot bed, which I don't know if you can get in the other OEMs. Nissan prides themselves on that or something, so people can look into it, but you have a bed cab configuration that is not available with other OEMs, I think. So
I'll confirm that. I'll put it in here
if you're somebody who's like, I gotta have that crew cab 6-foot bed, maybe this is for you.
Yeah. That's a cool configuration if that isn't. If that
Yeah,
doesn't
I believe
exist.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So
And have you noticed the bed size being an issue at all compared to the half-ton with a 6.5-foot bed, or?
Sure, for a weekend warrior, absolutely not. So for reference, I just remodeled an entire bathroom, and I was able to put all the stuff I needed from Lowe's,
Nice.
bathroom vanity, right in the bed of this truck, pretty practically.
Good.
Again, if you're working construction every day, you may need that 6.5-foot bed. But if you're a weekend warrior like myself, I have found no constraints with it.
Good. One thing that I'm a bit of a bug about is seat comfort, and I forgot to mention it, but these seats are pretty comfy. They kind of hold you in nice, but they're not squeezing you at the same time.
Yeah.
I definitely think that I could go on a long road trip. Do they have lumbar? They sure do. Oh, yeah.
So another thing to mention, usability. Right after I bought the truck, actually, I took 5 people on a 4-hour road trip. So 5 people in a mid-sized truck, 4-hour road trip through the mountains, so it's twisty turny, and nobody really complained.
Good.
I mean, was it as great as a crew cab 1-ton truck? No, but nobody complained.
You also do have keyless entry, I noticed, on the door handles, so that's pretty nice. Your little button deal, like normal. I think I just locked it. Yeah. But that's nice. Cool. Let's do it. All right, guys. So I'm driving now, obviously. We talked a little bit before this, but for the most part, it's my first impression. The steering definitely is heavy. It's actually probably a little bit heavier than my Super Duty, which is also heavy. And that's definitely, I could see how that would be controversial, especially for smaller people and weaker folks, older people. But I also have noticed here a little bit, it's kind of a weird blend of a truck driving position and a SUV car driving position. And I have noticed this too in even like the 4Runners and stuff. It's kind of that weird blend where it's like it wants to be a truck, but it also kind of wants to be a car at the same time. It's almost a little confused. But I don't even say that in a bad way. It's a mid-sized truck, right? Like it is the thing that is in between an SUV and a full-size truck. So it kind of makes sense, but so far, as far as just like normal bumming around town drivability here, the first few miles does everything I would expect it to do. I'm gonna get on the kind of like a pseudo interstate here and just feel the bumps and kind of see what it's like at speed. I think that's kind of the best test of a vehicle. Most stuff does pretty good around town. It's the highway where you notice any potential flaws.
We'll say the Pro4, to add to that, the Pro4x package is a little stiff.
Did you drive a non-Pro 4X?
I did not, no.
Okay. I will say the seat does not go down any further. If you're a taller person, headroom might become a bit of a concern for you. It's not terrible, but I'm like not so far away, so keep that in mind.
Have you driven any of the mid-sized trucks?
I have not driven, I don't know, maybe here and there.
driven 4Runner. We're doing Connor's 4Runner.
So, another thing to keep in mind too, if we're talking about the general truck market, I think this is the least powerful of all the models. Again, all the other OEMs refreshed, put a little bit better power plant in there. It is turbocharged power, so probably a little bit different power feel, but this is the least powerful of all the models.
Yeah. So just to give you an idea, we're going about 67. You know, we're cruising at like 1,800 RPM, not even. So really good cruising ratio anyway. And if you're somebody who travels a lot, you know, this is a perfectly reasonable vehicle for longer trips. And that's going to be something you want to kind of consider is, you know, how does it do, you know, cruising RPM wise and stuff. Once I get to a straighter stretch of road here, I'll slow down a little bit and punch it so we can kind of get a feel for the, just kind of the kind of like passing acceleration. But you do have the manual mode as well, where you can kind of go ahead and shift your own gears, which is cool. I always like when cars do that. And then we're actually going to test if this has bonus mode. Do you know how to get into manual? Go sideways?
Yes,
there we go. So I want to see something. Will it hold 8th if I punch it? Nope, so it does downshift. So some vehicles, when you put it in manual 8th, for example, it will stay in 8th gear even if you floor it. But in this, it does downshift. Most vehicles will downshift even if you leave it in a gear, but I just wanted to see. I think it's pretty decently quiet. A little bit of wind noise. I can see where you're saying you can feel the old bones a little bit. It's definitely not probably quite as quiet as some of the competitors, but I wouldn't say it's uncomfortable or loud or anything.
It does have a little bit of road noise. There's no tire noise, anything like that, but you definitely notice the wind in the road a little bit.
And I purposely chose this route because I drive this actually every day on my commute, so it's kind of a good comparison to other things that I've driven. Just do a couple exits and turn around.
How do you feel about the stiffness now that you've...
Yeah, I mean, it reminds you of the Super Duty. The steering wheel is definitely Super Duty-esque, and that's a stiff steering wheel too.
So it's reminding you of a 3/4 ton truck.
It's reminding, yes, exactly.
Truck, you know?
It's reminding me of other. And the newer Super Duties are actually lighter steering than mine, and then therefore this. So, but yeah, it's
something to consider.
All the steering wheel feel and kind of the hand controls here and stuff. This is all pretty standard affair, which is a good thing, right? They didn't try to do anything. All these car companies are getting crazy with burying things in menus and screens and whatnot. And I know I'm not in my lane, truck. It's okay. See how she handles the old exit 7 curve, dead man's curve, like a freaking Camaro, dude.
It's pretty tight.
Like a Camaro. We've hit some bridge expansion joints and stuff like that. It's probably as stiff as a half ton, essentially, and you'd maybe expect it to be a little less stiff, just being that it's a, 1/4 ton truck or whatever. But I mean, it's not horrible. It's just, it is what it is. It's the off-road package in this case might make it a little stiffer if they raised it up a little bit, depending on how they did the front end geometry and whatnot. But it's fine. It's really not an issue.
I have never driven the competitor models, but every YouTube channel ever said that they are much more comfortable relative to this platform. So
okay.
Just something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Does have auto stop start. I don't know if that's turn on. You can turn that on or off if you want. Okay, you can actually turn it back on. So that's always nice that they give you the option. And then you can save a few MPGs if that's something you're worried about. So one thing Matt was just pointing out to me, all these buttons here, and I'm not looking down, I just got the camera there, they're very hard to see and actually hit while you're driving. The steering wheel completely blocks your view. So I'm sure once you remember which one's which, it's not as bad, but definitely not great.
Note there's like 7 or 8 buttons down there. You have your lane assist, your downhill descent if you're, an off-road bro. You have your locking differential down there. You have your power inverter down there. And not stuff that you're necessarily going to need on the fly, but the lane assist maybe. But yeah, you literally have to remember it's the 4th button in top row and do it by feel. Like you will not be able to see those while driving. You will get in an accident if you try to look down.
So I've been driving this a little bit longer, and I think I would really say overall, if you're just looking for a decent mid-size truck and you don't want to spend $1 bazillion, you want some nice features, maybe you want a little bit more old school technology, I think people sleep on the Frontier. I think it's a good vehicle. Back when Matt was looking for it, I actually recommended it, and I'm glad it worked out that he likes it. And I think more people probably would like these if they kind of knew they even existed still. I think a lot of people forget the Frontier is even a thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you know, I think that'll wrap this one up. I think Matt gave us a really good rundown. Appreciate it, Matt. Thank you for all your information.
Folks. Go buy one. Highly recommend it.
Nissan's not a sponsor of this video. But anyways, guys, that'll wrap this one up. So as always, thanks for watching. God bless America, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.